I've gone through a bit over 1/4 of an inch of the MDF. It turns out once you get about 0.2 inches into the MDF, it gets pretty soft. But that's not the main reason I'm putting on a new sheet of 3/4 inch MDF. My tabletop, as it is just another sheet of 3/4 inch MDF. And it turns out that one sheet plus the bottom part of a second sheet are not rigid enough, at least for some of what I need to use it for. I'm going to take the old top sheet down to the harder material. I will probably leave about 0.1 inch of the old top sheet, so I've got about 0.3 inches of board to remove. I started here trying to remove 0.1 inch at a time, but the little router is really struggling taking that much of a cut. I'm going to have to reduce the depth of cut. Don't want to destroy the router replacing the spoilboard. So this is going to take a bit. Well, I was able to remove 0.06 inches without putting too much load on the router, so that took longer than I was planning on. I'm going to remove the part of the top the router can't reach with a chisel. I'll get the bulk of it off this way. This MDF really separates quite easily. Makes this go fast, but this is also the reason screws won't hold in the edge of MDF. I'll use a hand plane to clean up what is left. I would rather this end be on the low side, so I'm going to take it down till it feels flat or a little lower than the routed surface. Somewhere I have a larger hand plane. Don't use something for a year or so and it seems to go into hiding. Of course, after I finish this project, I'll remember where I put it. After cleaning off the dust and tiny pieces of board, it's time for the glue. I'm using a pint of regular yellow wood glue. I will spread it out. The challenge here is to try and do it fast. I don't want the glue to soak in too much before I get the new board on. That looks okay. No big puddles of glue. I'll grab an extra hand and get the new board in place. Trying to set it down in about the right position. I don't want to have to push it too much and scrape the glue off. The MDF sheet is pretty flat. Of course, if it's not flat, it needs to be left at the store because something bad happened to it. For the center of the board, I'm going to just put some weights on it. And I'm putting clamps around the edge, but I'm just very lightly tightening them. Hopefully the glue will do its job and it will become one board. I'll give it overnight to dry and then finish up the job. Well, it didn't curl up or slide off overnight. I'll remove the clamps and weights and see how it did. Looks like it glued down nicely. I'll get these weights off and then do a light surface of the table, see just how flat it turned out. So to set the height of the cutter, I pick a spot over one of the steel support beams, just for consistency. I'm going to remove 5/1000ths of an inch from the surface of the table. After it goes over the entire surface, I'll know then if I have any really low spots. If I do, then I'll have to go over it again. Well, it's looking very good. The only low spots are where the straps were holding the stack of MDF together. I think this was like the second sheet down from the top of the stack. Guess I should have pulled one out from a little lower down. But that's going to do just fine. I'm not going to let this top board get as thin this time. The plan is, once I get it down 0.1 to 0.15 inches, I'm going to put a 1/2 inch thick sheet of MDF on. That is going to hurt my height clearance somewhat. But maybe this coming year I'll get a new Z-axis built. Been wanting to do that for a while now. There's one more thing to do before it's ready to use. I'm going to cut an alignment rabbet on the edge of the sheet. That way I have an accurate edge that is parallel to the x-axis. That really comes in handy sometimes. I had cut T-slots into the old top. I'm not going to do that for this one. I did use the T-slots some, but they really didn't work out that well for clamping items. The MDF will give before much clamp pressure is applied. This was a project I've been needing to do for better than 6 months now. I'm glad to have it done. Thank you for watching.